Upon logging in to edulastic.com, make sure you select sign in with Google. Once you select sign in with Google, you will have the option to select your ebrschools.org account. The Edulastic system is synced with all of our Google items, which means it's synced to all of our EBR items as well. So your EBR credentials, you will use that for your Edulastic account. Once you select your name, it's going to make sure that you are okay with Edulastic, accessing all of your items. Click allow, and you will be brought into the system. From here, depending on your current role in the district, if you are a classroom teacher and you have students tied to your name in JCampus, you will probably see different classes right here on your dashboard. Me, I'm not a classroom teacher. I'm a district instructional specialist. So I don't have any students tied to my name, so my dashboard is completely blank. Let's disregard that. On your left-hand side, you have your menu option. So right now we're on dashboard. Assessments is where you'll go for all of your assessments that you have either created or that you have assigned to your students. You can also create a brand new assessment here. You have your question bank option under assessments, where you can search for specific questions that someone maybe have placed into the district library or that they have in the Edulastic library. You can also create brand new questions up there in the right hand corner. Library is the overall Edulastic library. So that's where you can search for specific question types that have been authored by you, by other teachers, other district people, whoever you would like. And then your reports are where all of your reports live once you actually display or you give out a quiz to your students. So once your students take that test, all of your reports will live here. You can run different assessment summaries, question analysts, performance over time reports, etc. And last but not least, you have manage class. Manage class is where you go to manage your classes. So once again, this will be blank because I don't have any actual students tied to my name in JCampus. So if you don't have any kids in JCampus, you won't see anything under manage class or dashboard. Just be mindful of that. Let's go ahead and delve into the assessments. So when you select assessments, you'll see all of the recent assessments that you have created, you've practiced. As you can see, I have a lot of different practice assessments that I always kind of play around with to remain fluent and current in Edulastic. In the top right corner, you have new assessments. Go ahead and select new assessment. And when you select new assessment, you get these three options. You get create from scratch. That means you can author your own questions. You can type in all of your different kind of answer choices. You can select the different kind of question type it is. You can choose from the library. So as you can see, they have a lot of different questions already made, pre-made in the library for Edulastic. So you can choose from that. Or you can create from a PDF. So maybe you have a PDF assessment that you've always given to your students. Instead of typing it from scratch, simply scan and upload the PDF, and you will be able to make it into a quiz from there. Let's do create from scratch. So right here where it says create from scratch, you're going to go ahead and name your assessment. I'm going to call this practice 1. And under there where it says create assessment, you're going to click create assessment. And you can now start either searching for different things or authoring a new question. So it tells you right here that there are not any questions available based on your filters on the left hand side. I don't care about that. I want to create my own question. So in the right hand corner, it says author a new question. You're going to click author new question. And here's where the kind of fun part comes in. You can go ahead and select a specific question type that you would like to have. So maybe you wanted an essay type question. You'll select essay type. They have the classic question types, which are these right here. So multiple choice, multi-select. You have math tech enhanced. So depending on maybe if it's a math question, you want the kids to do something specific, you have those options right there. And then you have your ELA tech enhanced. So like your drag and drop, your passage based, your matching tables, your classification, etc. So depending on what kind of question you're asking it, you may want to kind of peruse these different kinds of question types to see which one you like the best. We're going to just stick with the classic question types, and let's do a basic multiple choice question. Simply select multiple choice, and now you can go ahead and type in your question. So let's say my question is, who is the main character? I can go ahead and where it says enter answer choice, I can go ahead and start typing in my 4 answer choices. So Jim, Bobby, Julie, or Mike. I can add additional answer choices. So maybe I have a 5th answer choice. I can add Sally if I would like to. Maybe I want to delete one. To delete an answer choice, these arrows on the right hand corner, I select the arrows right there and I can rearrange it in a different order, or I can hit the trash can to delete that answer choice. Towards the very bottom, you see your point value on the right hand side. If I hit the little pencil next to it, I can go ahead and tell it it's going to have a 5-point worth. And then I can also down here assign a specific standard to that question to kind of tie it in. This part is required. You need to go ahead and add a specific skill, or standard to that question. So I'm going to go ahead and change the subject to other subjects and select ESL. And I can just go ahead and have it in grade 5. And then I have this little ESL standard right there. It may not be the correct standard. Some standards are not in Edulastic, but just choose something that's very basic so that you can have it there for you to use. Once you have your question created and your answers uploaded, go ahead and hit save and proceed. Oh, I have to choose my correct answer choice. Forgot about that part. So make sure you let Edulastic know what the correct answer choice is. So maybe Julie was my main character. I'm going to select Julie, which is C, and you see that C kind of turns blue. So now the system understands that Julie is the correct answer for that question. Go ahead and hit save and proceed. And you now have your first question there. You're good to go. Maybe you want to ask another question. So let's ask another question. So in the right hand corner over here, you get some extra options. You get the little save floppy disk. You get the little eyeball. That means to kind of preview it. You can view it as a student. You get this little plus sign inside of a card. That allows you to add questions from the question bank library from Edulastic. So you can kind of mix and match your own questions with the Edulastic created questions. But I want to do another question that is my own question. So the little plus sign with the question mark inside. I'm going to click that. And this time, maybe I have a passage that I would like to copy. I'm going to go to ELA Tech Enhance. And I want to add a passage for the students to reference along with the question. Click Passage Base and enter your instructions. So read the following question. And answer the question. And read the following, passage. And answer the questions attached. You can go ahead and give it a title. So maybe you have, so let's do Little Red Riding Hood. Simply then go and find the passage. So I'm going to go ahead and Google Little Red Riding Hood PDF, so I can go ahead and just simply copy and paste something really quickly. So I have this little story right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of this. And then I'm going to paste it into Edulastic. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to paste it. And I have my story right there. Maybe I really love this picture right here. I can save this image by taking a snapshot or using the snipping tool. And then when I come over here, I have these options in this box right here. The little image box right there where it says insert image. If I click that, it allows me to select a file, and I can now upload my image so that the students have an image to correspond with their little story. I'm going to upload it. Once it's done, there we go. I have my image now. So now the students have an image along with their short story right there. So my passage is there, but now I need some questions, right? So on the right hand side over here, I'm going to go ahead and hit save up here to have it be saved. And now I want to author some new questions. So I'm going to hit author new. And now I can choose what kind of question type I would like to ask. So maybe this time I want to select all that applies, multiple selection. I'm going to just ask who are the characters in this passage. So the students have to select all the correct characters. So the wolf, Grandma, Bobby, Little Red Riding Hood. I'm going to select all the correct answers. And then I'm going to come back down here. Remember, choose your standard. So change it from mathematics to another subject, and then go to ESL. And then I have my standard select, and then I can go ahead and hit save and proceed. That first question has been asked. Maybe I want to ask another question with that same passage, because you see you have your passage still there and you have your first question right there. I want to add another question. I'm going to hit author new, and I'm going to ask an essay kind of question. So maybe I want to ask them, finish the story and make Little Red Riding Hood the villain. I can now, they have that area. I can add additional line heights if I would like to. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I change my standard. And then I go ahead and hit save and proceed. And now I have my second question added to that passage. Let's say I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. I'm going to hit save one more time to make sure everything's good to go and saves. Hit review. And I now have my second question. So you have your first question. I have my second question. Let's say I'm good to go, and I don't really care about adding any additional questions. I'm ready to publish and assign this assessment. On the right hand corner over here, you get some extra options. So where it says practice 1, I can rename my test. So maybe I wanted to rename this practice 1 ESL assessment. I can change the grade level that is catered for, the subject, and I can also add co-authors. So right here where it says add, if I click add, I can add additional co-authors to this assessment. So I can add my colleagues. I can invite them to add additional questions, remove questions, review the assessment, whatever I would like to. It's up to myself. So I'm going to go ahead and add myself to it just as a little practice. And you see how it says no results found? They're going to have to be someone that is in the actual system. So I'm going to try someone else. Let's see. So it has to be someone that actually has an Edulastic account in order for you to add them as a co-author. So I'm going to add this person right here, Nikki Washington. I'm not going to hit save because I don't want to get a crazy email. I'm going to hit cancel. That's how you would add your co-authors to help you kind of add and change things. So maybe your committee, your ELPT assessment committee, can use that feature to invite each other and add questions to that assessment. And then you can see down here you have 3 questions, how many point value, how much the questions are worth, etc. And let's say you want to preview the question before you hit save. The eyeball up here is how you preview it. Once you hit the eyeball, you can see how it will look for the student. So the kids can say, okay, Jim was the main character. My next question, I have my little passage over here along with my questions. So the wolf, Bobby, and Grandma were the main characters. Once I hit next, I have my little essay area. I can do all of that. Hit submit. And the kids now have submitted their tests. So they're good to go now. And then because I have it set to automatically grade, it gives the kids what their grade is for that assessment. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish and assign, or assign, excuse me. I'm going to hit publish or assign. And when I hit publish or assign, I can now go ahead and publish it to the library. So you can see I have an open date and a close date. Be mindful of that. You may want to have it open longer. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and hit publish and assign later. And this is the important part, how to share with others. So you want your teachers in EBR to be able to access this assessment. So on this last page where it says share with others, it says sharing level. Right now it's private. It's only in my library. Only I can find this assessment. I don't want that to happen. I want to change the sharing level, and I want to maybe have it to where anyone in EBR can find it. I'm going to select that one. Or maybe I don't want everyone in EBR to find it. Maybe I only want the people who I share this link to up here to have access to it. Or maybe I want everyone in the whole wide world who has Edulastic to have access to it. I'm going to click withhold Edulastic community, and then anyone can have access to it that's on Edulastic. For this purpose, let's go ahead and do add to district library to where only EBR teachers can have access to it. I'm going to hit save. And now you see the sharing level has changed. So it says sharing level, district library. And simply all you must do is simply copy this URL and then email it to your teachers for that specific grade level or who will be administering this test. And you're done.